Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, my name is Mrs. Nilofer Ijaz. I am your biology teacher. Today we are going to start our third chapter from the new book. This is the biodiversity. Biodiversity you have studied before in the previous book with the name of Classification of Living Organisms. In the biodiversity, we are going to study the definition, aims and principle of classification, 5 kingdom of classification, binomial nomenclature, and conservation of biodiversity. Now you can see on your screen, first of all, you must have book. If you have not purchased up till now, these books are available in the market. If you have not purchased up till now, this is your first duty to buy the book. And from the book, we are going to take your monthly test as well as your midterm, which is expected soon. And both will be in person, that the test or the examination you have to attempt physically. Now the definition and introduction of biodiversity you can see on the screen. What is biodiversity? It is a combination of two words. Bio means life and diversity means variation. Bio means life and diversity means variations. That how one species, how one living thing, it has variation and how it varies with one another. The biodiversity or the biological diversity is the degree of variation within or among the species exist on different regions of the earth. You know, our earth is divided into water and land. So we have two types of organism. Either they are found on land or they are found on or in water or near the water. The earth is again divided into mountain, hills, plains, valley, desert, island. So different kinds of living things, they survive in their environment. And according to the environment, they have changes, they have variations in their body. And when we study them according to their habitat or the environment in which they are surviving, that study is called biodiversity. For biodiversity, whenever we talk from bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi, animal, and the plant. It means from lowest plant to highest organism, we study each and everything in biodiversity. Next topic is importance of biodiversity. Why biodiversity is important? Biodiversity provides many beneficial products which include fiber, oil, dyes, rubber, water, timber, paper, food, vegetables, etc. These things mostly we get through the plants. Each and every climate is not suitable for each and every plant. Or you can say that each and every plant cannot be found in every part of the earth. So the people who work on the biodiversity, they provide the climatical condition either by artificial or natural, by natural processes for the survival of their willing or their desiring plant. This biodiversity also maintains the recycling of the nutrient. In this way, pollution on the land reduces. How? Living things, they are linked with living things. And living things, they are living with non-living things which are very much essential, that is the earth, water, air, temperature, and these things are essential for the survival of every particular living organism. After the death and decay of living organism, they go into the earth. Mostly they go into the earth or at the bottom of sea, where bacteria, which are saprophytic bacteria, they utilize them as their food. Once in my class, in my previous lecture, I told you there are different types of bacteria and they are of different type because they feed on different things or their host is different. When their host is a living thing, then the bacteria are called parasites. If their host is a non-living or dead organism, then it is called saprophytic bacteria or saprophytes. Here I am talking about the saprophytes. The saprophytes, they depend on the dead bodies. They utilize the dead bodies, they eat the dead body, and when they eat the body, the waste products in their body are formed, they are released in the air, and they are helpful to maintain the nutrients, amount of nutrients in the atmosphere. Medicines are also obtained from different types of plants. Now, about 80% of the world population is using medicine. And these medicines, they contain a chemical which is called active. These actives are obtained from the plant. Now you can see pictorial view. This is the pictorial view. These are angiospermic plants. They are found on the earth. Angiospermic plants are those plants which produce flower. Flower are necessary for the pollination, fertilization, and then seed and fruit formation. Next picture is the picture of gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are those plants in which instead of flower, male and female cones are produced. These cones are responsible for the new generation. Now here, onwards, liverworts, and the mosses. These are the examples of bryophytes. What are bryophytes? Bryophytes are the plants, they are without vascular bundles. That is, they don't have xylem and phloem. So, they grow near the water or the soil on damp shady places. That much water which they need, they absorb from their surrounding and perform the process of photosynthesis and continue their life on the earth. Now, some animals are in the pictures. Polar bear. Polar bear are found in Antarctica region where the ice, their region is covered with totally with ice. You can see the color of the polar bear is white for camouflage. They have very hard, thick covering of fur so they can survive in that climate. The next picture is a desert mouse. It is surviving in the desert. This is the picture of bluebird. It is a bird. Next is cobra. Why they have shown you some pictures? To show you, to realize you, different organisms have different parts of body to survive according to their environment. Now, aim and principles of classification. Why classification is needed? The study of diverse peak of organisms which exist on the earth, biologists classified the organism into group and subgroup. This grouping of the organism is called biological classification. What is biological classification? It is a grouping of organisms on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities into groups and subgroups. This is called biological classification. Some organisms share similar fundamental characteristics or the function. It is further explained by the means of morphology. What is morphology? When we were studying the branches of biology, I told you morphology. Morpho means form and logy means study. One organism, either it is a plant or animal, how it looks like or what is the appearance of that organism, it is called morphology. From outside, how it look like, what is the structure, we can see by our eyes. That study or that branch is called morphology. The classification first based on morphology. In morphology, two characters are studied. That is the homologous character and the analogous character. What are homologous character? Homologous character, that is the similar in structure and different in function. For example, this is the alligator. This is the forelimb of alligator. This is the forelimb of bat. This is the forelimb of human being. Now, you can see bat, whale, cat or human. They all have a forelimb. They are near about equal in structure. For example, 1 and 2 and 3 all are composed of 3 bones. This is the first bone and these are radio and ulna. These 2 bones. This is the first bone, this is second and this is third. This is the first, second and third. What I want to explain you that they are similar in structure but they are performing different functions. For example, The arm of human being is used for lifting, usually lifting or working. The cat's arm is used for running. The whale's arm, it is used for swimming. Bat's arm is used for flying. Now these things, they have similar structure, but their functions are different. And they are biology, in terms of biology, they are called homologous structure. This is the homologous structure. They are called homologous structure. On the basis of homologous structure, they are divided into group and subgroup, or on the basis of analogous structure. Analogous means different in structure but same function. Their structure may be different but the function may be same. Rabia Asif, I request you to close your camera. Thank you. Analogous structure, that is different in structure but same in function. For example, in your book, these are the wing of butterflies, these are the wing of bat, or I like to give you some more examples. That is the wing of a housefly, wing of a cockroach, wing of a honeybee. They are different in shape and size, but they are used for one function, that is for flying. The purpose is flying. So that structures are called homologous structure. Sometimes it is impossible to classify organisms using morphological characters. So the biologist and the scientist, they use another class of biology that is called cytology or the genetics and biochemistry. They take help with morphology. If morphology is not fulfilling their answer and they are causing problem to create group and subgroup, so the scientists, they may choose cytology, genetics, and the biochemistry. What are cytology, biochemistry, and genetics? Cytology is the chemicals which are present in the cell. Their function, their composition, their structure, their binding, their bonds, they are called cytology. They study for grouping and regrouping. The next is genetics. They analyze the DNA. What is DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. It is composed of chromosome and protein. They are composed of nitrogenous bases. And on the basis of DNA, they classify the groups and the subgroups. And sometimes they take the biochemistry. What is the branch of biochemistry? Which deals with the chemical of living organism. Now the next thing you can see on the screen, that is the taxonomic hierarchy. What is taxonomy hierarchy? The taxa are arranged in ascending order and a form ladder. Ladder कहते हैं सीढ़ी को. They form a ladder called taxonomic hierarchy. Once again, taxa. Taxa are arranged in ascending order. Ascending order, that is from smaller to the biggest one. In this way, all the organisms are classified into 5 kingdoms. So the kingdom is on the highest rank of classification, and the lowest one is the species. And you know, when we are moving from species to kingdom, they have some units. They are called units of classification. The smallest and the basic unit of classification is a species. Similar species, they combine together and they form genus. All the member of genus, particular genus, they combine and they form the next step of the ladder, that is the family. When families combine or they organized, they form the next step or ladder, that is called order. Order combines and organizes into classes. Classes combines and they form phylum. And phylum combines and they form kingdom. Now the classes combine when in case of animal, classes combine to form phylum, and in case of plant, classes combine and they form division, and then division into kingdom and the phylum into kingdom. This is the taxonomic hierarchy, that is species, genus, family, order, classes, phylum, and the kingdom. Kingdom is on the highest position. You can see it is a king. It is the king of classification. These are the units: species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and the kingdom. Now, this is the simple classification of organism in human. In human, the scientific name is Homo sapien, sapiens, genus is Homo, family is Moninda, Moninda, Primata, Mammalia, Chordata, and Annelida. Just like that, in a pea plant, mutton plant, garden pea, not that pea which we eat. The species name is Pesium sativum. Species is Sativum. Genus is Pesium. Family is Fabaceae. Order is Fabulus. And the class is Magnoliopsida. And the phylum is Magnoliophyta. This is, and the kingdom is Plantia. On your screen, you can see aim of classification. Why the scientists are making classification? What is their aim? The two main aims are here: to determine the similarities and dissimilarities among the organism so that they can be studied easily. When you study the similarities and the dissimilarities of organism, you can study them, you can identify them very easily. Because when you will make a chart and you are studying some species, easily on the basis of morphology, homologous structure, analogous structure, cytology, genetics, or biochemistry, you can separate the characters which are similar and dissimilar. Number two, to find the evolutionary relationship among the organism. We can also find out the relationship which exists between the present organism and with its past organism, how they were in the past. we can find out the relationship. And class 9, if you will go through the lectures of my previous class for classification, you may find the answer of aim of classification in very detail. That question might be in your journal also. Check the journal 1 or 2 and then you can find the answer. Now the next topic is the 5 kingdoms. Classification. For classification, there are many names. Vatiker, Margulis, Chivon. They did a lot of work on the classification. This 5 kingdom classification, which is included in your course, in your syllabus, it is proposed by Whitaker. The 5 kingdoms are like that. First of all, they are on the feeding habit. How different organisms take their food on their feeding habit. This classification based on feeding habit. The number 1 phylum or the number 1 kingdom, it is divided into 5 kingdoms. Number 1 is Monera. Number 2 is Protista. Number 3 is Fungi. Number 4 is Plantia. And number 5 is Animalia. Again, I am repeating the names. Again, I am repeating the names of kingdom. Kingdom Monera, number 1. Number 2, Protista. Number 3, Fungi. Number 4, Plantia. Number 5, Animalia. You cannot disturb the order. They are from evolutionary point of view. We cannot change the order. हम इसका order, इसकी तरतीब नहीं change कर सकते कि एनिमिलिया को पहले लिख दिया, फंजाई को बाद में लिख दिया या मोनीरा को आखिर में लिख दिया. We cannot change it because these kingdoms are from the evolutionary point of view. First kingdom is Kingdom Monera. It includes all the prokaryotes. Examples are bacteria and cyanobacteria. It includes all the prokaryotes. What are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are those organisms in which nucleus has no nuclear membrane. Their nucleic acid or the nuclear material, it is scattered somewhere in cytoplasm. Prokaryotes are those organisms which do not have membrane bounded structure like mitochondria, like nucleus, like Golgi body, all the other organelles, endoplasmic reticulum, they all have their membrane. But Kingdom Monera, it includes bacteria. This is the diagram of bacteria and you can see this is the DNA and this is the DNA and it is scattered in the cytoplasm. This is the chain of cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, they look like bacteria, but they are blue-green algae. The second kingdom is Kingdom Protista. It is the place for all the eukaryotic unicellular organisms. पहले हमने बात की प्रोकैरियोट्स की, अब आ रहा है यूकैरियोट. It includes all the eukaryote, means they all have nuclear bounded structure or membrane bounded structure in them. इनमें और मोनीरा में क्या फर्क है? वहां पे मोनीरा जो थे वो प्रोकैरियोट थे, ये यूकैरियोट है. What does the eukaryotic mean? Eukaryotic means that they have membrane bounded structure. They are unicellular. Their body is composed of only one cell, except yeast. Yeast is included into next class, which is called fungi, which some of them have feature of both plants and animals, like Paramecium, Euglena. They include protozoa and the unicellular algae because they are eukaryotic but unicellular. Some of them, they possess chloroplast, and that's why they are called in between plants and animals. The third one is kingdom fungi. It includes all the multicellular. Now, what is the difference in prokaryote? In the first one, Monera, prokaryote, unicellular, Protista, multicellular and eukaryote, unicellular and eukaryote, and about kingdom, multicellular and eukaryotic. That the body is made up of more than one cell. They include all kind of fungi. Fungi, the body of fungi is called mycelium, and it is made up of thread-like structure, and they are called hyphae. This is the diagram of mucor. Mucor is commonly called as cocoon. ब्रेड अगर पड़ी रह जाए, उसमें पानी लग जाए और वो अनअटेंडेड कहीं पे पड़ी रह जाए तो उसके ऊपर ब्लैक सा पाउडर आ जाता है, दैट इज cocoon. This is the mushroom, umbrella like structure, and that is the stalk, and these are the root like structure. This class is devoid of chlorophyll. They cannot manufacture their own food. Now the fourth one is kingdom Plantia. As the name is indicating, it includes all the plants. It includes all the multicellular, eukaryotic, photosynthetic organisms. What it means that the body is made up of more than one cell. They have all the membrane bounded structure, nucleus, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi body, ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum. All these structures have their own membrane, outer membrane. That is why they are eukaryotic. Photosynthetic means they can perform the process of photosynthesis. And now at this stage, I don't think that you need to know what is photosynthesis. From class 2, you are using this one. They have cell wall, mainly made up of cellulose. Cellulose is a material just like starch, and the body wall or the cell wall is composed of cellulose. It includes all the algae. Algae are green plants, lower plants. Bryophytes. Bryophytes are without xylem and phloem. Pteridophytes, that is divided into angiosperm and the gymnosperm. They are vascular plants. Gymnosperms, those plants which do not have flowers, and through male and female cones, they reproduce. Angiosperms, all the angiospermic plants, they have flower in them. And due to flower, they reproduce. The flower, it consists of 4 parts: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive parts, and due to pollination, fertilization, seeds and fruits are formed for the next generation. Next kingdom is kingdom Animalia. All animals are multicellular, that is the body is composed of more than one cell. Eukaryotic, that the cell has all the structure with their membrane, that is the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, ribosome, vacuole, nucleus, all they have their own membrane. Ingestive heterotrophs means that they take food. They cannot manufacture their food. They take food and they don't have cell wall. Why they don't have cell wall? Because they are animal. Cell wall is the character of plant. It is only found in plant. Cell wall is composed of mainly cellulose, but in different classes it may be differ. ये मुख्तलिफ हो सकती हैं. It includes all vertebrates and invertebrates except protozoa. It means that all kinds of vertebrates are included. Vertebrates, those have vertebral column or the backbone. Invertebrate, they do not have vertebral column or the backbone. But the protozoa are not included in this kingdom. Why protozoa is not included? Because protozoa are unicellular. Here we are talking about multicellular. This was all about your five kingdoms. Now the next topic which is included in your course is the binomial nomenclature. We have studied in the previous book in detail. Bio mean to nomial mean name, the system of name which is composed of whose name is called binomial nomenclature. It is given by Charles Linnaeus. Charles Linnaeus was the scientist who gave this system. Biological, what are the principles for binomial nomenclature? We have only 1 minute, and thank you very much for class, for joining it and for listening it. In the class, we have finished this class, but in the virtual class, we are talking today. And then on the Monday, and from Monday, you have your monthly test and the class, as well as you will follow the timetable. So we will complete the conservation of the biodiversity. In 1 minute, I would like to explain. We have studied in detail. हमने previous book में इसको बहुत डिटेल से पढ़ा हुआ है. Biological name is